My mother was born under an olive tree on a soil they say is no longer mine, but I will cross their barriers, their checkpoints, their damn apartheid walls, and return to my homeland. I am an Arab woman of color, and we come in all shades of anger. So let me just tell you, this woman side of me will only bring you your next rebel. She'll have a rock in one hand and a Palestinian flag in the other. I am an Arab woman of color. Beware, beware my anger.
Many Palestinian refugees in Lebanon struggle against a history of dispossession. In May of 1948, Israel declared independence as indigenous Arabs fled in what is known as al-Nakba. When the refugees first came to Lebanon, they settled in camps waiting to return home. 66 years on, they remain in a purgatory. In 1975, the Lebanese Civil War began. Palestinian militias were heavily involved until they were expelled in 1982. Yasser Arafat of the Palestinian Liberation Organization fleeing to Tunisia. Later that year, the Israeli military and a Lebanese Christian militia massacred 3,500 unarmed civilians in the Sabra and Shatila refugee camps. Palestinians would remain a target of both Muslim and Christian militias for the war's remainder. For my Palestinian friends, this history was suffocating, as were their own political parties, which stifled independent dialogue and action. We began to formulate our resistance during an English conversation group, much like Freire's cultural circles. We discussed the problems facing our communities and how we could transcend beyond our past. This inspired MAN, a youth group with aims to unite Lebanese and Palestinian communities in struggles for fair access to power and resources. Burj al-Barajni refugee camp was one site of our struggle. We engaged in various community projects, including murals, street cleanups, film screenings, and clothing distributions. Later, we would help renovate a refugee dialysis center and establish a soccer training program offering youth employment and promoting health. We accomplished these feats, all volunteer and without money, while building an active social, artistic, and intellectual community of youth committed to one another. Our work took a more serious tone with the changing political climate. The eruption of conflict in Syria brought hundreds of thousands of refugees to Lebanon, thousands coming to the Beirut camps. We visited the homes of refugees who told us that they wanted education for their kids and a space outside of their tiny shelters for cooking and leisure. We set out to open a center providing these services, but our funds were lacking. We decided to organize a concert, finding a beautiful venue, artist, and a long list of volunteers who made the event possible. At the end of the day, and after hundreds of hours of hard work, we raised over $13,000, enough for the center's first 7 months. Al-Naqab Center opened in June and now teaches math, English, Arabic, and history courses daily to around 60 refugee children. Volunteers lead the courses and organize community engagement projects that make a difference. This is Zaina, Daher, Nadia, and Abu Ali. Our work, which started with humble conversations about the reality of our communities, has projected forward. Without any resources but the will to love, trust, and work with one another, all of this became possible.